I count on the loving help of my darling wife, Camilla.
For decades, we've watched the royals smile for cameras, shake hands, and play nice for the public. But behind those palace walls, a cold war has been brewing between two of the most powerful women in the monarchy. And it just exploded in the most unexpected way possible. What happened at that state function wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated strike that stripped Camilla of everything she'd fought to achieve, and it was all orchestrated by the one royal nobody saw coming. The red carpet was rolled out. Cameras were flashing. Camilla walked forward expecting the usual royal treatment when the announcer delivered a bombshell that no one, not even Camilla herself, saw coming. Instead of Her Majesty Queen Camilla, the words that echoed through the hall were, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cornwall. Watch Camilla's face in that moment. The confident smile cracking, eyes darting sideways, the mask slipping as reality hits she's just been publicly demoted on the world stage. The audience was stunned. Palace aides scrambled. But one person remained perfectly calm, watching from the sidelines with ice-cold satisfaction. Princess Anne. Here's what the cameras never showed you. This wasn't random. This was the final blow in a 30-year battle that started the moment Camilla entered the royal picture. While everyone focused on the Diana drama, Princess Anne was quietly keeping score. She watched Camilla break up a royal marriage. She witnessed the scandals, the public humiliation of the monarchy, and the slow erosion of everything the queen had built. And when Camilla finally got her crown, Anne never forgot. She just waited for the perfect moment to strike back. The breaking point came when Camilla made one fatal mistake. She tried to rewrite royal history by pushing her own children into positions of power. That's when Anne decided enough was enough. What happened next reads like a royal thriller. Anne called a secret meeting at Balmoral Castle, the same place where the Queen made her most important decisions. Picture the scene. Charles arrives thinking it's routine business. Camilla walks in confident she can charm her way through anything. But Anne had other plans. This wasn't about emotions or personal grudges. Anne presented a case built on cold, hard facts. She had documented every instance where Camilla had overstepped, every attempt to restructure the monarchy's power for her own benefit. With surgical precision, Anne stripped Camilla of her queen title, reverting her back to Duchess of Cornwall in all official capacities. Charles protested, pleading with his sister to reconsider. "She is my wife," he argued. Anne's response was ice cold. "She may be your wife, Charles, but she's hardly the queen your mother envisioned." Camilla, caught between disbelief and rage, snapped back. "You are not the monarch." Anne's reply cut through the room like a blade. "No, but I'm my mother's daughter, and she trusted me to defend what she had accomplished." The confrontation ended with Camilla storming out, slamming the door behind her, while Anne calmly placed the signed document on the table and walked away. Within hours, the palace machinery was in motion. Internal messages were sent to event organizers, press liaisons, and royal personnel. The Princess Royal had spoken, and all references to Queen Camilla were to be updated immediately. There was no public statement, no press conference, but the change became visible within days. Announcers fumbled. Programs were hastily reprinted. At her next public appearance, Camilla was introduced as the Duchess of Cornwall, not the Queen. But it was at the Royal Academy's fundraising banquet where the world truly witnessed the aftermath. Camilla arrived in full regalia, diamonds sparkling, expecting the usual royal introduction. Instead, she heard the words that shattered her world. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall." The gasps were audible. The silence was deafening. Camilla's face flickered for just a moment, but the cameras caught everything. This wasn't a clerical error. This was a public execution carried out with surgical precision. Behind closed doors, Camilla's reaction was explosive. She reportedly threw crystal glassware against the walls, her voice thundering through Clarence House in a fury not seen since the Diana years. "How dare she?" Camilla allegedly screamed, "How dare Anne humiliate me like this in front of the world?" The woman who had clawed her way from mistress to monarch found herself publicly dethroned by a single phrase. Her decades-long battle for legitimacy had been reduced to dust in less than 30 seconds on stage. Charles, caught between his love for Camilla and his duty to the crown, was reportedly an emotional freefall. A bitter argument with Anne followed, rooted not just in titles but in decades of unresolved family pain. "You've crossed a line, Anne," Charles allegedly said. Anne's response was swift. "No, Charles, you did the moment you crowned her queen." What makes this story even more fascinating is the silence from William and Catherine. The future king and queen chose not to intervene on Camilla's behalf, their lack of support speaking volumes. William's private message to his father the next morning was reportedly brief but devastating. "We need to protect the crown, not personalities." In the end, there were no formal declarations or press conferences, but everyone understood that the monarchy had been reset not by the king, but by the Princess Royal. Anne had done what no one else dared. She defended the crown through action, not words. She didn't shout or grandstand. She simply used her authority, her bloodline, and her mother's trust to do what she believed was right. Camilla, once poised to cement her legacy as queen, now found herself quietly receding into the shadows. The glitzy engagements became fewer, the front page spreads faded, and whispers of her influence grew colder within palace walls. She remained Charles's wife, but she was no longer the crown jewel of his reign. The title was gone, and with it, the illusion of undisputed power. Princess Anne, long underestimated and overlooked, had pulled off the ultimate power move. She reminded the nation that the monarchy wasn't built on popularity contests or media manipulation, but on duty, hierarchy, and tradition. When she saw those values being twisted for personal gain, she acted decisively. Her move was called a masterstroke within royal circles, restoring not just protocol but the very essence of what the monarchy represents.